How's it going, folks? Joe Zamecki here, Texas State Director for American Atheists, here in Austin again at the Texas State Capitol to do another picket of the 2011 Texas State Legislature because they're slashing education. And my message is simple: don't close a single school, tax the churches. So I'm doing this day 8. It's a lot of fun. Hey, come on down and check it out with me. It's enjoyable. Makes the arms start out for a while. Thumbs up and a hop. Let's see if we can get some more. Folks, as you know, there's a lot of cutting of education budgets going right now, and it's just sad because schools are so much more important than that. This is not the time to cut into education. Texas lags behind in education in so many areas. There is, of course, one area in which Texas excels beyond most of the 50 states, and that is in our abundance of mega churches and televangelists raking in tens of millions of dollars per month, including the largest church building in the United States in Houston, Texas. It used to be called the Summit. The Summit used to pay property taxes, and quite a lot. Now it pays 0 taxes because it's a church. And religions have to have a special leg up to exist in the first place. Meanwhile, our public education is going downhill. Our very political state legislature is slashing away at education, and it's just plain wrong. Meanwhile, there's a whole lot of pork barrel that they're spending money on. That's also wrong. So I've come here today with a special message that's very simple, short and sweet. Don't close a single school or lay off a single teacher. Tax the churches. We can pay for all this budget mess with just 1%. 1% of the taxes that a megachurch would normally have to pay if it was taxed like the for-profit operation it clearly is. Not the poor ones, the ones that can afford it. They can really afford it. Especially Joel Osteen in Houston, Texas. He's quite possibly a multi-millionaire. The man has no trouble paying the bills. In Texas, where we need help for education, and they refuse. They won't even talk about it. This is not a new idea. But with just 1% of the taxes they would normally have to pay on their income. And just the top 1% most profitable churches and mega churches, televangelists in Texas, that's really not asking a lot. But it would be a lot of money because some of these churches are so wealthy. They can solve the problem of the budget mess by themselves, and not just with education. They could solve a lot more than that if they wanted to. I'm not actually a big fan of new taxes, of course. How about this? Instead of passing an actual tax or a law requiring them to pay this, why don't they just do this voluntarily? So we can avoid the whole mess of legislation and requirement and enforcement. They won't even do that. Oh, they'll help people in need who live under a bridge with a soup kitchen or something like that. One thing that contributes to social decay is a decaying school system. And to keep it underfunded all the time only ensures and propagates the problem. There's a billion-dollar solution in mega churches and televangelists. And before they get caught They really ought to be helping out. Because when they get caught, they won't be able to help us very much with this. What a great country we have today. The US of A, we like to say.